Hello students, here I'm Gargi Pamar, Assistant Professor BBA in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. So here I'm back with an online lecture series on income tax subject. So let's start with lecture. In today's lecture, we are going to start third unit of your syllabus and we are going to study first topic of third unit, that is income from capital. So income from capital gain is the fourth head of the income tax act in fourth head of the income tax, and which income will be taxable under this head. So if an SSE transfer any capital assets and receive some gain from that capital asset transfer of capital assets, then such gain will be taxable under the head capital asset. So see, if a person has a house property, okay, if a person has a house property and by saving of that house property, a person gains some income or some profit, then such profit will be taxable under the head capital gain. So if any person transfer any capital assets, it may be any house property, any land or any other assets. If a person sell any assets, capital assets, and receives some income from that transfer or that sale, then in that case, that income will be taxable under the head capital gain. Okay. So see that this is the chargeability of capital gain. That means which income will be taxable under the head capital gain. Okay. So capital gain shall be chargeable to the tax if following conditions are satisfied. So what is the first condition being taxable under this head? There should be a capital asset. So first condition is there should be a capital assets. We will see that what is the mean by capital assets. We will see it later. So there should be a capital asset, and in other words, assets transfer should be capital asset on the date of transfer. Second condition is it should be transferred by taxpayer during the previous year, and there should be a profit or gain as a result of transfer. So there must be a capital asset and transfer must there must be a transfer that is for in previous year. Okay? So there must be a capital asset and there should be a transfer of that capital asset during the previous year, and there should be a profit or gain from the transfer of that capital. So if these three conditions are fulfilled, then in that case, that income will be taxable under this head. So what do you basically first, what do you understand by capital gain? So meaning of capital gain. Section 45 of Income Tax Act 1961 provides that any income or gains arising from transfer of capital assets affected in the previous year. So what is the capital gain? If you arise some gain or profit from transfer of capital assets, to that gain or such gain or profit will be known as capital gain. But the transfer may be affected in the previous year. So there is a condition that there must be a capital asset and there must be profit and gain from that capital asset, and profit and gain must be arise in previous year. Okay, will be chargeable to income tax under the head capital gain. Such capital gain will be deemed to be the income of previous year in which such transfer took place. In this charging section, two terms are important. In this charging section, two terms are important. First is capital assets and second is transfer. So what do you understand by capital assets and what do you understand by transfer? So which terms will be included in capital assets and which terms will be included in transfer? So let's see. In capital assets means according to section 214, capital assets means property of any kind held by the SSE, whether or not connected with his business or profession. So any kind of property which is held by the SSE, whether this is connected by business or not. Okay, and any securities held by a foreign institutional investors which has invested in such security in the accordance with the SEBI regulations. So any kind of property which held by the SSE or any securities held by foreign institutional investors will be included in capital assets. But such security will must be invested accordance with the SEBI regulation. Okay, so these two type of assets will be included in capital assets. Okay, now, however, it does not include in capital assets following assets will not be included. Okay, so let's see. Which assets does not include in the capital assets? You see, any stock in trade other than securities referred to above B. So any securities other than expressed in explained in B in the situation B, other securities or other any stock in trade, consumable store or raw material held for the purpose of business and profession of the associate. So except the securities other than explained in the B situation, other securities except then these securities and consumable stores, raw material held for the purpose of business and profession will not be included in capital assets. Okay. Then second, personal effects, that is to say movable property including wearing apparel and furniture held for the personal use by the associate or any member of his family dependent on him. So, any property of personal effect that is used for the personal purpose and movable property that is held for the use of the personal purpose or maybe held for the use of the family or any dependent of that will not be included in capital assets, such as jewelry. If SSE has some jewelry for personal purpose, then such jewelry will not be included in capital assets. Archaeological collections, drawings, paintings, sculptures, any work of art, rural agricultural land in India, 6.5 gold bonds, 1977, 7.7% gold bond, 1980, and National Defense Bond, 1980, issued by the central government. These bonds will not be included in capital assets. Special bearer bonds will not be included in capital assets issued by central government. Gold deposit bank bonds issued under the Gold Deposit Scheme 1990 notified by the central government will not be included in the definition of capital assets. These assets, these securities, these bonds will not be included in definition of capital assets. Okay. Now, in rural agricultural land, what is the meaning by rural agricultural land? Which land will be included in rural agriculture and will not be included in capital assets? So see, rural agricultural land shall mean only rural agricultural land in India are excluded from the purview of the term capital assets. तो जो rural agricultural land होगी उसको आपको capital assets में include नहीं करना है. Okay. Hence, urban agricultural land constitute capital assets. लेकिन urban agriculture land को आप capital assets में include कर सकते हैं. मतलब urban agricultural land को capital assets माना जाएगा, but rural agricultural land को आपको capital assets नहीं माना है. Now, transfer of agricultural land situated in any area within the jurisdiction of municipality or cantonment board having the population of 1,000 or more shall be chargeable to capital gain, including the following limits. So, see, rural agricultural land will never be included in capital assets, but urban agricultural land will always be constituted capital assets. Okay, this is fine. Now, if any agricultural land situated in any area within the jurisdiction of municipal or cantonment board having the population of 10,000 or more shall be chargeable to capital gain. So, ऐसी agricultural land जो ऐसी एरिया में, ऐसी म्युनिसिपैलिटी एरिया में या कंटोनमेंट एरिया में सिचुएटेड है जिसकी पॉपुलेशन 10,000 या उससे ज्यादा है, तो वो एग्रीकल्चर लैंड का अगर आप ट्रांसफर करेंगे तो वो एग्रीकल्चर लैंड आपके कैपिटल गेन में इंक्लूड की जाएगी, कैपिटल एसेट्स में इंक्लूड की जाएगी. और उसके लिए कंडीशंस क्या क्या है उस एग्रीकल्चर लैंड के लिए? डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द लोकल लिमिट ऑफ म्युनिसिपैलिटी और कंटोनमेंट इज लेस देन 2 किलोमीटर और इक्वल टू 2 किलोमीटर. अगर ऐसी एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड आपके म्युनिसिपैलिटी एरिया के, कंटोनमेंट बोर्ड के एरिया के 2 किलोमीटर के इक्वल या 2 किलोमीटर से कम दूरी पे है, एंड द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ दैट एरिया इज ग्रेटर देन 10,000 बट लेस देन इक्वल टू 1 lakh. ओके, तो ऐसी एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड जो आपके म्युनिसिपैलिटी एरिया के 2 किलोमीटर के अंदर अंदर आती है और जिसका पॉपुलेशन 10,000 से लेके 1 लाख तक है, तो ऐसी एरिया में अगर कोई एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड है तो उसको आपको कैपिटल एसेट. ओके, व्हाट इज द सेकंड कंडीशन? Distance from local limit of municipality and cantonment board is less than equal to 6 kilometers and the corresponding population is greater than 1 lakh but less than equal to 10 lakh. तो अगर कोई एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड ऐसी एरिया में सिचुएटेड है, ऐसी म्युनिसिपैलिटी एरिया में सिचुएटेड है जहाँ वहां से जहाँ जिसकी म्यूनिसिपैलिटी एरिया या कंटोनमेंट बोर्ड से दूरी 6 किलोमीटर है, जो किसी म्यूनिसिपैलिटी और कंटोनमेंट बोर्ड के 6 किलोमीटर एरिया के अंदर अंदर आती है, और जिसकी पॉपुलेशन, जिस एरिया की पॉपुलेशन 1 लाख से ज्यादा बट 10 लाख से कम या उसके इक्वल है, देन वो एरिया अब वो एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड विल बी इंक्लूडेड इन कैपिटल एसेट। तो ऐसी एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड से अगर कोई गेन होता है तो वो कैपिटल गेन में इंक्लूड किया जाए। ओके, या फिर थर्ड, व्हाट इज द थर्ड कंडीशन, या फिर अगर आप वो एग्रीकल्चर लैंड म्यूनिसिपैलिटी से या कंटोनमेंट बोर्ड से 8 किलोमीटर के अंदर अंदर आती है, 8 किलोमीटर की दूरी के अंदर अंदर आती है, और जिसकी पॉपुलेशन 10 लाख से ज्यादा है। Okay, then in that case also that agricultural land will be included in capital assets, and the gain from that agricultural land will be included in, will be considered as capital gain. Okay, now see, so this is about the agriculture land. So rural agriculture land will not be included in capital assets and will not be considered as capital assets, but the urban agriculture land is always considered as capital assets. Okay, and about the agriculture land which is situated in the area of jurisdiction of municipality, or if fulfill these three conditions, any of the three conditions, then that agriculture land will also be considered as capital assets, and income from that agriculture land or capital gain from transfer of that agriculture land will be included in capital head, in the head of income from capital. Okay, capital gain. Okay, now see types of capital assets. So there is two types of capital assets. One is short-term capital assets and second is long-term capital assets. So what do you understand by short-term capital assets? So basically short-term capital assets is that assets which is held for not more than 36 months. तो ऐसे कैपिटल एसेट जिसको ट्रांसफर से पहले आपने 36 मंथ्स के लिए, 36 मंथ से कम के लिए अगर रखा है तो वो शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल एसेट होती है। ऐसी एसेट जिसको आपने 36 मंथ से ज्यादा के लिए रखा है, 36 मंथ से ज्यादा के लिए अगर आपने रखा है तो वो लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल एसेट। तो बेसिकली शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल एसेट ऐसे एसेट जिसको आपने 36 मंथ से कम के लिए हेल्ड करके रखा है, और शॉर्ट लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल एसेट जिसको आपने 36 मंथ से ज्यादा के लिए अपने पास रखा है तो वो होगी लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल एसेट। But there is a exception. There is some assets in the case where if you held that assets for 12 months, less than 12 months, that then that assets will be considered as short term. तो कुछ ऐसी assets है जिनको अगर आपने 12 मंथ से कम के लिए भी अगर रखा है, 12 मंथ से कम के लिए भी रखा है, 12 मंथ्स तक के लिए रखा है, 12 मंथ्स तक के लिए भी अगर आपने उसको अपने पास रख लिया है तो वो that assets will be considered as short term capital assets. और जैसे 12 मंथ से ज्यादा के लिए अगर रखा है, that means you held that asset for 13 months, then that asset will be considered as long term capital. तो कुछ assets ऐसी है जिनके लिए ये पीरियड 36 मंथ्स ना होके 12 मंथ्स है। That means अगर 12 मंथ्स तक रखा है तो शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल एसेट्स है, अदरवाइज जैसे ही 13 मंथ के लिए भी अगर आपने हेल्ड करके रखा है, 13 मंथ्स के लिए हेल्ड करके रखा है तो फिर वो लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल एसेट डिक्लेयर हो जाएगी। ओके, तो सी कौन सी है ऐसी कैपिटल एसेट जिनको अगर आप 12 महीने तक 12 मंथ्स तक के लिए भी अगर हेल्ड करके रखते हैं तो वो शॉर्ट टर्म कैपिटल एसेट है, और जैसे ही 12 मंथ से एक्सीड कर जाता है आपका होल्डिंग पीरियड तो वो लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल एसेट कंसीडर होते हैं। So these are the assets which requirement of which holding is 12 months only. So equity or preference shares in a company which is listed in the recognized stock exchange of India. There is you have equity shares or preference shares in a company which is recognized in stock exchange, and the period for that equity shares and preference shares will be 12 months only. If you held these equity or preference shares more than 12 months, it may be 13 months or 14 months, then that equity and preference shares will be considered as long-term capital assets. Other listed securities, units of UTI, units of equity oriented funds, zero coupon. So in the case of these 5 assets, if you held these assets for 12 months only, then they will be considered as short-term capital assets. If you held these assets more than 12 months, that means it may be 13 months, 14 months, then these assets will be considered as long-term capital assets. So in capital assets की condition में 36 months holding period ना होके कितना month holding period होगा, सिर्फ 12 months holding period होगा, 12 months से ज्यादा होते ही वो long-term capital assets होता है। There is a note. Unlisted shares and immovable property being land or building or goods helps not more than 24 months immediately prior to the date of transfer shall be treated as short-term capital assets. So if there is any unlisted share, we talked about listed shares here. तो listed shares के लिए 12 months की एक पीरियड है कि 12 months तक आप हेल्ड करके रखो तो शॉर्ट टर्म होगा, उससे ज्यादा अगर करते हैं तो फिर वो लॉन्ग टर्म में हो जाएगा. दिस इज अबाउट द लिस्टेड shares. Okay. If there is any unlisted shares or any immovable property, that may be land or building or both. Okay. तो अगर वो लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग है और या दोनों है या फिर अनलिस्टेड शेयर्स है, तो उनके केस में अगर आप 24 मंथ्स के लिए हेल्ड करते हो एसेट्स को तो वो शॉर्ट टर्म है. जैसे ही 12 मंथ 24 मंथ एक्सीड किया वो लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल एसेट्स में कन्वर्ट हो जाएंगे. तो अप टू 24 मंथ्स द होल्डिंग पीरियड इज अप टू 24 मंथ्स, then they will be that assets, these assets will be considered as short term capital assets. But when the holding period exceeds just 24 months, then in that case these assets will be considered as long term capital. So there is three different conditions for three different kinds of assets. First condition is for 36, that is normal condition, that if the holding period is up to 36 months, then the assets will be considered as short term, and that holding period exceeds from 36 months, then assets will be considered as long term capital assets. This is the normal condition. But there is a two exception of this rule, that is 12 months and 24 months. When there is listed shares or any other listed securities, any units of UTI, any OIT funds, any zero coupon bonds, in addition of these assets, the holding period must be 12 months. And in the case of unlisted shares and immovable property, the holding period must be 24. Okay. Now, what is the long-term capital assets? Capital assets that held for more than 36 months or 24 months or 12 months, as the case may be, immediately preceding the date of transfer treated as long-term capital assets. So, if you hold any capital assets more than 36 months, in the case of normal assets, then that assets will be considered as long-term capital assets. And in the case of unlisted shares or immovable property, if you hold that kind of assets for more than 24 months, then that assets will be considered as long-term capital assets. And in the case of these assets, if you held that assets for more than 12 months, then that assets will be known as long-term capital. Okay. So basically, these are the difference between long-term and short-term capital assets. Yes. Now, what is meaning by transfer? Is meaning of transfer. So, meaning of transfer is given in section 247 in the income tax act. So let's see what we will include in transfer. In transfer, in relation to capital assets, we will include sale, exchange, and relinquishment of assets, extinguishment of any rights of relation of capital assets, compulsory acquisition of assets, conversion of any assets into stock and trade, maturity and reduction of zero coupon bonds, allowing possession of immovable property to the buyer in part performance of the contract, any transaction which has the effect of transferring immovable property or disposing or parting with an assets or interest therein or creating an interest in any assets in any manner whatsoever. So basically, only sale not only only sale will not included in transfer. जब सेल को ही ट्रांसफर में इंक्लूड नहीं किया जाएगा. In transfer, we will include sales, exchange, relinquishment, any extinguishment, any compulsory acquisition of assets, any conversion of capital assets, any maturity or redemption of zero coupon bonds. If you allowed to get the possession to any person of your immovable property to fulfill their performance or to fulfill their task, if you transfer any assets to any person to fulfill their performance or to fulfill their objectives or fulfill their project, and then disposing any assets, all these transactions will be included in transfer. So in transfer, we will not only include the sales, but also we will include the exchange, relinquishment, extinguishment, or these all transactions will be included in transfer. Okay. Yes. Now there is next topic, that is computation of capital gain. So how will we compute the capital gain amount? So computation of capital gain is given in section 48 of Income Tax Act. So first we will calculate short-term capital gain. So for calculation of short-term capital gain, first we will see what will be the consideration, full value of consideration, that means sale consideration. How much amount you receive by sale of by transfer of that asset. So we will write the amount of or the amount on which you transfer the assets to other person. Okay, so जिस अमाउंट के लिए आपने अपने एसेट्स को ट्रांसफर किया है, सेल किया है, that is basically sales consideration. We will write here the sales full value of sales consideration. Okay, then we will write it cost of acquisition. आपको एक्वायर करने के लिए, उस एसेट्स को खरीदने के लिए आपकी क्या कॉस्ट लगेगी, दैट मींस परचेज कॉस्ट. ओके, तो यहाँ पे आपके एसेट्स की सेल्स प्राइस आएगी, then you will less the purchase price of that asset, that means cost of acquisition. Then you will less the cost of improvement. Cost of improvement means अगर आपने इसके रिपेयर मेंटेनेंस के लिए, इसको एनहांस करने के लिए, इसके इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए अगर कोई कॉस्ट लगाई है तो वो भी लेस होगी. Then expenditure incurred wholly or exclusively in connection to such transfer. So if you have done any expenditure for the transfer of such assets, then you will less that amount also. So resultant amount will be short-term capital gain. Okay. Now let's move on long-term capital gain. How we will conclude the long-term capital gain. So first we will write full value of sales consideration as we write in short-term capital gain also. So first we will write the full value of sales consideration. Then we will less indexed cost of acquisition. Here we less the only cost of acquisition. Now we will do the indexation of cost of acquisition. Then we will write that amount. So how will we index the cost of acquisition? Cost of acquisition को index कैसे करेंगे? So there is a formula of indexation of cost of acquisition. So first you will write the cost of acquisition that will be given in question. Okay? जो question में आपको given होगा. So first you will write the cost of acquisition, then will multiply the CII of the year of transfer. तो जिस year में आपने transfer किया है उसका आप CII लेंगे. CII क्या है? Here is a table of CII, cost inflation index. This is the CII, cost inflation index. तो यहाँ से जिस भी value, see if you are transferring the assets in 2008 so in that case CII will be 137. So first you will write the cost of acquisition, that means purchase price of that asset, then CII of the year of transfer. Suppose you are transferring that assets in 2008-9, then you will write the CII 137. Then upon CII of the year of acquisition or the financial year 2001 or 2, whichever is later. So see, first you will write the cost of acquisition, then you will multiply the CII of the year of transfer. Then you will divide that amount from CII of the year of acquisition. See, suppose you purchase the acquisition, you purchase that assets in the year 2008-9. So you will take the CII of 2008-9, or maybe suppose let's have another example. There is a assets. The cost of that assets is 4 lakh rupees. So first you will write here 4 lakh rupees, and you purchase that assets in the year 2004-5. Then you will take the CII of 2004-5, that is 113. So you will write the 113 multiply by CII of year of transfer. So CII of year of transfer will be in which year you are transferring. Suppose you are transferring that assets in 2018-19. So we will take the CII of 2018-19, that is 280. So we will multiply by 280, and CII of 2004-5 is 113. So you will write 113. Suppose you have purchased that assets before the 2001 and 2, because see there is a problem that हमारा indexation जो है CII जो हमको indexation दिया हुआ है वो कहाँ से start होता है 2001 से. तो अगर आपने इससे पहले कोई assets लिए, इससे पहले कोई assets purchase किए before 2001 and 2, you have purchased that assets, then that case we don't have CII for that year. 2001-2 से पहले की CII तो हमारे पास है नहीं. तो देन इन दैट केस आप क्या करोगे, उसको ये अज्यूम करोगे, उसका बेस ईयर लोगे 2001 and 2. It may be that that assets is, suppose that assets is purchased by you in 1994-95, but indexation will you will take 2001. 2001-2 का CII आप लेंगे, because 2001-2 से पहले का CII आपको कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं, तो अपन को बेस ईयर 2001-2 लेना है. इससे पहले अगर कोई एसेट्स आपने परचेज करे बनी है तो उसका इंडेक्सेशन उस ईयर का ना लेके किस ईयर का लेंगे 2001 का। ये हम अभी देखेंगे, बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स हम करेंगे, जब हम एग्जांपल्स सॉल्व करेंगे तो हम इस टॉपिक को देखेंगे। तो बेसिकली दिस इज द formula of indexation. Okay? So you have to remember this formula: cost of acquisition multiplied by CIA of the year of transfer upon CIA of the year of acquisition for financial year, or for the financial year 2001 to whichever is later. तो 2001 to वो ईयर, इन दोनों में से जो ईयर लेटर होगा, अगर आपने परचेज किया 2004-5 में और फाइनेंशियल ईयर है 2001-2 विच इज लेटर, लेटर कौन सा आता है, लेटर ईयर कौन सा है 2005-6, तो 2005-6 का सीआईए हम लेंगे फॉर द कंप्यूटेशन ऑफ इंडेक्सेशन ऑफ कॉस्ट ऑफ एक्विजिशन। ओके, सपोज देयर इज आपने जो आपकी एसेट है वो एक्वायर कर लिया, एक्विजिशन ईयर है आपका 2000 सॉरी 1999 टू 2000, 1999 से 2000 के बीच में आपने एसेट परचेज कर लिया, एंड फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2001-2, नाउ व्हिच एवर इज लेटर 2001-2 इज लेटर, तो इन सीआईए हम किसका लेंगे 2001-2। जो दोनों में से जो भी ईयर बाद में होगा उसका हम क्या लेंगे सीआईए। ओके, yes, then we will list the indexed cost of improvement. Okay, so how will we calculate the indexed cost of improvement? For that, cost of improvement multiplied by CIA of year of transfer, CIA of year of improvement. तो सेम फॉर्मूला है, but cost of acquisition की जगह हमको cost of improvement है. The formula is same, but we have put the cost of improvement on the place of cost of acquisition. This is only the minor difference between the two formulas. Okay, so we will index the cost of acquisition. Then if you have spend any expenditure for transfer of such asset, then in that case that expenditure will be less and the resulting amount will be long-term capital. Okay, so this is an introductory part of income from capital gain. Okay, in next lecture we will see some practical examples of of indexation or for calculation, and we'll see some provision under this head. Okay, so that's it for today.